Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of It's Getting a Teeny Tiny Bit Complicated 2. How are you guys doing today? How's life? It has been a bit of time since the last episode and well, I have been working on the ultimate ingot. Basically what I did is that I took lead, I added a lot of atoms, and we have whatever the hell this is. We also got a bunch of other stuff, but they're not important because well, the recipe isn't complete yet. I honestly don't know what I was thinking that I could finish it in one episode, but it's okay, we will finish it today. But first things first, we need to start getting into auto-crafting and we need to start using P2P tunnels. But before we get into auto-crafting, I made a promise to some of you guys that I'm going to try and explain P2P tunnels as best as I can before setting up my applied energistic system. This is why we literally postponed the auto-crafting until today so that I would be able to have enough controllers. One very small disclaimer, this is my understanding, it could be wrong. But it does work, so who cares? Anyways, this is an ME controller, right? You have 6 sides, and each side can give you 32 channels. Of course, if you use a normal cable, you're going to get 8. If you use a dense cable, you're going to get 32. So if you have like one controller, it doesn't really matter if you use dense cables or not, but once you go with a multi-block ME controller, which can be a 3x3, 5x5, or a 7x7x7, well, it does get crazy, because otherwise you need to have a lot of dense cables and then you need to have cable anchors so that they do not connect and mess up the channels, which will look something like this, and it's garbage. That is why we use P2P tunnels. So if we give power to the controller, like so, it's alive. Yeah, no. So the way that P2P tunnels work is that they're going to carry something through your network, but not into your network. That was a very confusing sentence, so let me try to explain what I mean. Yeah, ether gas will do. This is applied energistics, so even your cables are going to need power. But essentially, what we can do is that we can have a P2P tunnel over here. If I hit it with a water bucket, it's going to be a fluid P2P tunnel. I can put my ender tank in, and this is the input, and then I can have one more P2P tunnel and have my tank on top. Then we're going to need a memory card. So if I copy the settings of the input and copy it to the output, the ether gas is gone. Yeah, I had to turn the gauge, I forgot. But yeah, now it's empty. So you see, without having any type of storage, we're extracting the fluid, it goes through the system or the cable and goes into the supreme black hole tank. Obviously, you can have one input and then multiple outputs. P2P tunnels have different forms, some of them carry energy, some of them carry a redstone signal, and some of them even carry light. Just to show you that we can have one input and several outputs, what we're going to do is that we're going to hit you with a lever. Now this is a redstone P2P tunnel. And if I link the input to multiple outputs like so, and flick the lever, all of them are on. And off. And on, and off. You might also notice that if I add 2 more P2P tunnels, everything is off. That is because a P2P tunnel does consume a channel, so we have to be careful. Therefore, a P2P tunnel can carry everything through your cables, including channels from the ME controller. So let us imagine that we're going to have 32 interfaces on one side. I only have one, but imagine this is 32. We can use the dense cable, obviously, but too many dense cables are going to get very complicated and you're going to have a spaghetti of cables. We can be a professional and we can put a P2P tunnel on the controller. It should touch it, and since it does require to have a channel, we need to connect it to the controller as well. Now if I have a normal cable over here and put another P2P tunnel, and as usual link the input to the output, and use a dense cable, we will have fresh 32 channels over here, with a stupid garbage cable. The part where these guys are amazing is that, well, you can have a crazy amount of P2P tunnels on your controller depending on its size. And you can have a stupid amount of channels available to you. And I mean, even if you run out of channels, you can have a quartz fiber and then maybe use a flux cable and then add one more controller, which would be able to hold more P2P tunnels. Of course, what we are going to do is that we're going to go with a 3x3x3 controller. For the moment, we only have 8 of it, so it's a 3x3, but that's going to give us more channels than we are going to need. So a subnetwork, I don't think it's gonna be necessary. I will try to demonstrate most of the functionalities that I mentioned, even though some of them are not very practical. Also, since I'm going to start breaking my controller, maybe we should get as many P2P tunnels and cables as we can, because then I'm not going to have any access to my applied energistic system for a while. I have a feeling that I have all the essentials, so let's break it. I'm so happy it didn't fall down. We need to go a bit lower than usual because, well, I do have a few things that I want to put under my ME controller. First off, we are going to have an energy acceptor. I do understand that an ME controller can accept direct energy, but I have a plan. Whenever you're inputting items into your applied energy stick system or extracting items, or whenever it's auto-crafting, it's gonna consume power. Whenever your applied energy sticks is doing too many things at the same time, it's gonna be inconsistent because power is going to run out. So in order to stabilize it, we're going to use dense energy cells. That will literally work like a buffer. Up here we're going to have a ring of 8 ME controllers like so, and I'm going to cover the bottom side with P2P tunnels. And as you guys remember, each one of the P2P tunnels is going to need a channel, so we need to connect it to the controller like so. And wait a minute, now all of them are online. Okay, we have access to the drives. And just to have an idea how the controller is going to look, we're going to have some fake controllers. It's going to be a 3x3 like this. And obviously each side is going to have 8 P2P tunnels. Also, I always use dense cables in order to extract the channels because, well, I always have a habit that I add machines along the way. You know, things that I really don't want to see and I want to hide. Currently, the dense cable is providing power to our wireless terminal, the terminal, as well as the drives. This is why we're consuming 23 channels. What we can do is that we can cut it short around here, put a P2P tunnel, a dense cable on top. Remember that you have to copy the settings from the input first and then paste it to the output. So now all of the devices should be online, yes, and instead of consuming 23 channels, it's only one. Because you know, it's just a P2P tunnel. Our first order of business is to try and automate the items that we are going to need in order to expand our applied energy stick system, meaning lazier AE2. For the moment we have one of every single machine, but later on I'm thinking of maybe having 2 or 3 of them. Essentially we are going to need a ton of circuits, and well, most of them are made in the circuit etcher, so I was thinking we have like 3 or 4 of them so that it's going to be faster. But for the moment we can only afford one of them. Anyways, the reason that I brought you in is not because of automating these guys, because it's relatively easy. You know, you just put it on an interface, configure the sides, and put auto extract on. The actual reason that I brought you in is that I wanted to make an example of how you can transfer power using P2P tunnels. I'm going to put a quartz fiber over here. This one does not transfer any channel, but it does transfer power. So if I put a purple cable over here, it is going to receive power from the applied energy stick system, so if I put P2P tunnels on it, they are going to work. But it's not really connected to our applied energy stick system, so if I put P2P tunnels on it, it's not going to consume any channels. On the main network. On this one, it will. It's just that you should remember it's not a very practical thing to do. This is just an example. For converting it into an RF P2P tunnel, we need to hit it with something RFy. Yeah, this doesn't work. Maybe a universal cable? Yeah, forge energy. So I can put my flux point on top, select the P2P tunnel as the input, and then copy the settings to here. So each one of the machines from Lazier AE2 should get power, yes. I can also extract the items using an item P2P tunnel, but you get the gist. It has been a decent amount of time later, and well, we have a few machines and we have a few automations. It's nothing super fancy. I basically can make different types of upgrade, different circuits, and of course, different alloys. It's not just Invar and Electrum, there's more. I have also set patterns for the 16 million ME storage cell, and can we have like 80 of them? That seems to be cheap. Not very fast because our co-processors are garbage, but still decently good. Yes, everything seems to be working fine. Well, I had a hiccup because I forgot to configure one of the machines, but it does work. I don't really think we are going to need storage ever again. But all the machines, drives, and terminals that we have are consuming 3 P2P tunnels. That's it. Except the molecular assemblers, I haven't changed them yet. But here is the point. The entire reason that I wanted to set up auto crafting today was that I want to automate the ingots that we need in order to make the ultimate ingot. I'm not really sure how I should do that, but we need a ton of these guys. However, before doing that, we're going to need a few mobs. I don't know why I made 8. We need a blaze, a basalt. For a blaze we are going to need some snow, and apparently this is how you make it. Okay. And a blitz. I think blaze was in lava? Yes. I need the sword, just in case. We take 4 samples, go to hell. We do have a second mob tower, and I'm going to use 4 of them for blazes. Yeah, this should be slightly faster, I guess. And I have to do the same for all of them. This one is a blitz. This shock thing is incredibly stupid. I can't even take a sample. I mean, I can take one, then I have to wait for 20 seconds. Which mod is it from? We do have the mob cages. The rates are not great, but if we need more of the items, well, I can add more cages. That's not a problem. Let us get back to the ultimate ingot. You might notice that I have moved the fusion reactor to our chemical area. And I would really want to see how we can automate everything. We are going to need a P2P tunnel over here, so that we can have some channels. And I think the first thing that we have to automate are the chemical dissolvers. Thankfully, we do have an ender chest. This ender chest is hooked up to the piping system over here, so whatever we put inside it should go to the chemical dissolvers. And that means the only thing that I have to do is to put it on top of an interface. Let us say we want gallium. Gallium is from zinc dust, so you go inside the crusher. And I don't know, you make me 1,000, I don't care. So each zinc dust is going to give us 10 zinc and 6 gallium. So 10 zinc, we should have some gallium, yes, and 6 gallium. So if we put you inside the interface, let's see if it works. We have 2212 gallium, and let us order 100 more. Yes, we are crafting it, that is good. So that part of the plan is easy. Now that we have that stupid gallium in a vial, let us see if we can convert it into actual gallium ingot. That's 16 gallium vials, should give me 1 ingot, yes. We encode the pattern and see if it works. So I don't know, can you make me 10? I hope you can. Yeah, this is the worst part, cause yeah, you can't have 2 stacks. Do not push crafting items in the inventory if the inventory contains items. Maybe that will help. Can you make me 21? Okay, we have to remove them, otherwise it works. That's much better, otherwise I had to have one of these guys for every single element. That would have been stupid. Another thing is, I'm not really sure if these machines are smart, so if I put an upgrade and extract everything, are you also going to extract the vial of gallium? I think you are. No? What happened to not pushing items? Okay, first off, it does work and it's not extracting the vials, even though I have a blacklist, but I don't think it really matters. Secondly, I have an issue with consistency because sometimes it skips 1 or 2 ingots in every 100, and that's not very great. I don't really know what's causing it and I have no idea why it's happening. I checked the recipes, everything seems to be working fine. But I did try the same thing with berkelium and this did not happen, so maybe it was just a glitch. And also, you might notice that berkelium did require the fusion reactor. Automating the fusion reactor was not very complicated. Basically what I did is that I made an ender chest and put it on top of an interface for a recipe for berkelium. The ender chest goes into an entangled block which is entangled to the controller for the fusion reactor, and well, we just have some filters. So for berkelium it was extracting boron from one side and uranium from the other side. And now that I want to make californium, it's relatively easy. I just need uranium and carbon. That will give me 98. So you, my dear friend, you extract carbon, and this side is already uranium. We just encode the pattern and that goes inside the interface. It's easy. I say it's easy, but it's very time consuming. So let us order some californium, 16 should be good. Well, we had 1, so yeah. I will encode the pattern for the ingot, and we should be able to order 2 stacks. And let us see if the hiccup happens again. We want 127, we already have 1, so that will be 2 stacks. So far so good. Also, you might notice it's not the fastest thing in the world and I don't think we can speed it up. So what comes after carbon? Nitrogen? Okay, I have so much. I don't know why. But you guys get the gist. Instead of carbon, I will add nitrogen to uranium and that should give us, I don't know, something else. Einsteinium. Okay, this is the most stressful part because I'm just waiting for a hiccup. It gave me 128. Huh, maybe that was just a one-time thing. It is a teeny tiny bit grindy in order to set the patterns, but I think it's much faster. Yeah, literally, this is the best. Okay, yeah, this is grindy, but it's actually much faster. Look at all the ingots that we have. I also added 1 more fusion reactor because with 1, well, it was pretty slow. And so far the strategy of adding atoms to uranium is working. I'm missing something. Ah yes, I made extra ingots and I forgot to put them in. So Einsteinium and fermium. Also, so far I'm not running into any problems. 14 was silicon, 15 is phosphorus, which we have a huge supply, because it comes from glowstone, and 16 is sulfur. 17 is gonna be a problem. It's okay. So uranium and phosphorus gives us borium, uranium and sulfur gives us hassium. And just like that, we have 2 more ingots on auto crafting. So now I need to think about chlorine. Well, we have 28,000. Which I guess I got it from different types of chloride, so who cares, we're good. I ran into a very small problem and that is getting argon. There is no direct recipe for it, but I think I came up with a solution. I reassembled our fission reactor over there as well and I made a relatively complicated pattern. I'm making zinc so that I can make gallium. I'm mixing gallium with beryllium. That is going to give me something called bromine. And then I'm putting that bromine inside the fission reactor, and that is giving me argon and chlorine. You see? Works fine. Ironically, this was an element which I have already made and put it inside the ultimate crafting table, but I thought we might as well have the recipe for it. Ah, you're full. I need another ender chest. Yes, Darmstadtium. Why do they have names of cities? I don't know. Wow, that took a bajillion years, but we have a few ingots. We have 114, 115, 116, 17, and 118 is getting ready. And all of them are on auto crafting, so that's a good progress. Come on, dude. We're waiting for you. Okay, so let us see where do we stand. This row is already finished. Perfect. We fill in the other one as well. We're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are before lead and uranium, so we have to find some sort of another element. I even forgot, what the hell are they? It's before osmium. Yep, these are the 6. Ah, there's always a loophole. So we get this guy from shulkers, and therefore we should be able to add atoms until osmium. Give me some shulker shells. And we start processing. That should be more than enough. That is my assumption, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's giving us a very decent amount. I don't know, let's get more, cause I think we need a lot. Yep, this is good. So lutetium plus 1 hydrogen should give us hafnium. Yeah, this is gonna be super easy. So rhenium is on auto crafting, and that is the final one we need in that row. You see, we're getting close. And there's literally one more. Element number 66. I'm too lazy to do that. What is 33? Arsenic. You see? Arsenic to the rescue. I'm just gonna fuse it manually. Wait a minute. That's plenty. We need around 2000 in order to make 2 stacks of ingots, so that's good enough. Maybe I got it as a byproduct of something? Ah, yes. Stone. Finally we are done. I don't really care about the order. Does it work? Wow. 1 stack of ultimate ingot. Okay. That was laggy. Oh boy. There is a boo-boo? How can there be a boo-boo? Well, I need to find the boo-boo, but it's okay. We can do that later on. All we wanted was 1 ultimate ingot. You know what I did? I basically just removed 1 ingot. I pressed on the move items. And it works. So we have 2 stacks. Shouldn't this be a shapeless recipe? No, it's not. Believe it or not, it has been such a long time that I actually forgot why the hell did we need the ultimate ingot. I had to go to uses. We needed that in order to make the compact crafter. The problem is, if you look at the recipe, we are going to need a few machine frames from RF tools. So that's 7, 8, 9. I hate that. But I guess this is the final time that we are going to use these stupid projectors. Of course, that is the hope. That has been the hope for like 2 episodes. Here is the first one. Oh, we have tesseracts. I like tesseracts. Why are we using flux networks? Who cares? It's too late. Oh, we got it. I forgot I'm wearing a magnet. Come on, come on. Yes. So we have all 9. We are going to need a builder, which technically we could have automated the entire process with builders and it would have been much easier, but this I guess is going to be much faster. We need a space chamber controller. Why? I have no idea. And 7 space chambers. That's it, right? Yes. Oh my goodness, field projectors. A few other projectors which I have no idea what they do. And the rest is just plastic. Oh, we have 214. Nice. And just a bit of orange. Yep. Oh, this is a 7 by 7. I have to move the projectors. Jerk. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm hoping something like this is going to work. Yep. I just moved it by a few blocks. We're fine. You're a horrifying recipe. So 2 black, 1 controller, 2 more blacks. Then we need the chambers. Okay, it's not that bad. There is a very high chance that I'm going to mess it up. These also go next to the projector? Why couldn't it be just a simple cube? I don't know, it seems to be something like this. No, maybe the opposite? Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have it. Although the question is, do you work as advertised? We're just going to test it with a machine frame from RF tools. So here's plastic, cobalt, dimensional shard, and 1 extra. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. Then we don't need these stupid projectors anymore. We're done. I hope. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.